Hello and welcome to this update video. So I wanted to talk about what I recently released, which is Town of Machine, and my future plans. Because currently, right now, as you may have seen, Town of Machine released on Steam. You can go buy it right now and, buy it for your grandma while you're at it. But overall, the sales were pretty poor. I think the reception and the quality of the game is pretty good, and even very good in my opinion. So I don't really think that the game itself is the reason now why it sold bad. I think the reason is that I just simply don't understand the market on Steam anymore, to be honest. Just as a point of reference, a few years back I released Super Panda Adventures, and the Steam store page was up for pretty much the same amount of time, which is not enough. I had the store page up for about a month, and Super Panda Adventures sold so many copies that I was able to sustain myself right away, right from the first second basically. And now, 5 years later or whatever, you just simply can't do that anymore on Steam. And I'm pretty sure it has to do with the amount of games on Steam, also the greater amount of free games on Steam that pretty much every developer has to compete with. Because the question that any player asks themselves is basically why should I play your game when I can play that other game for free? So what I want to do next is try to find a new niche on Steam, basically, where I can be successful again. Because right now, with what I'm doing, it doesn't work anymore. Town of Machine took me a year to make. I've seen it on my Steam page, on my YouTube page. If you go on my channel, you can see that the first development video of Town of Machine, which was back then called Chaos Commandos, I think, is about a year ago, and that's just not viable anymore on Steam. You cannot work for that long on a single project anymore, or else you are just financially ruined, which I am right now. And it's not fun. It's really crippling and bad, and it's also very bad for your mental health. I've noticed severe, I have some days where I'm just not able to do anything because I'm basically just thinking about going homeless or throwing in the towel and leaving everything behind or whatever. And that's really not good if you want to be productive and do something. So that's something I deal with personally, but just in general, it's just a really bad spot in which I am right now. But, I don't want to play the pity card or anything. I know everyone else has their own share of problems. So, don't mind me. I will be okay. The only problem I have is, I just want to find a new niche on Steam where I can be successful again. That's all I need. And I think my games, especially Town of Machine, I'm very proud of it. In terms of quality, and recently I've released the 1.1 patch, which adds a New Game Plus and New Game Plus Plus modes, which make the game much more interesting when you want to play it again, because the main concern I've heard from people are that the game is short. So I added these modes that add a lot of replayability, and it makes the game, in my opinion, I don't know, I almost had more fun in the second playthrough, to be honest. But seeing that with more action, the game becomes also more interesting was one of the ideas behind my next project. Now, my next project is a spin-off title from Town of Machine, which is a very, I don't want to say short. The game will be longer than Town of Machine, so please keep that in mind. But what I mean when I say short is my development time. So, what I want to do is I make a spin-off title, which is a purely action-focused version of Town of Machine, with different characters, different setting. Well, not exactly. The setting will be similar, but it's a different story, let's just say. So this is basically the niche on Steam that I'm trying to fill, is the low money, high quality niche, which I think is has only very few games, and from that point onward I can be more flexible and add new and better and greater mechanics to my games. Right now I'm kind of going with like tiny stepping stones, like let's add one more mechanic, let's add one more enemy type or stuff like that. Now if I can get new stability with that, then I can start thinking about greater mechanics and games and stuff like that, like game ideas and all of that, because so this is a long-term focus now. So my short-term strategy, I've already mentioned. The long-term looks like this. I want to go back into 3D models and animations. And this brings me also to Dimension Drifter. The main reason why I stopped working on Dimension Drifter is because of the 3D meshes and the animations. The stuff in the game wasn't bad, but it was problematic for me. As you know, I'm a single person, and you know there's only so much a single person can do with the time I have. Meaning that if I decide to make high quality meshes with high quality animations all by myself, that means that I'm taking weeks or even months to work on this one thing alone. And what I've realized is that this is not viable. I cannot do that. Even if I wanted, if I wanted to become the greatest animator in all of existence, it would take way too long of a time, and I don't have that time. Even if my games were more successful, I don't think it's viable anymore to work on something that I have no idea about, basically work on that for so long. So this is what I've decided to do. First off, the meshes. I will reduce the polygon amount on every mesh. Sometimes I think the monsters are already pretty low poly, but I can probably reduce that more. So I want to make them more stylized, and also I want to remake some of the textures and stuff like that, because right now it's very complicated to work on any of that. It's just too high quality, it takes too long, and overall, in the end, it doesn't really matter. So I want to reduce the amount of polygons. I don't mean like some kind of Minecraft, Lego people or whatever, but something in the middle, like, I don't know right now, kind of like, I think Quake 3 models, something like that, because I can start painting on clothes instead of modeling that, because modeling clothes is like an incredible time waster, basically, because I could spend that time on something else, because, you know, I'm making pockets and I'm making belts and I'm making buttons and stuff like that, you know, which all take time because all of these things have to be modeled and textured and stuff like that. So instead I will reduce the meshes and draw the clothes on them, which I've already done, but in the, you know, you can't have high poly models with drawn on clothes. It just looks ridiculously stupid. So I kind of go in a medium direction with that, to be in a medium between which is efficient for me to work on, so I can easily and fast make more different clothes and styles and characters and stuff like that. And at the same time, it doesn't look ugly or hideous. So it's like a new style kind of that I'm trying out. This comes together with a second problem, which is animations. The skeleton I've used in Dimension Drifter is a multi-purpose skeleton from provided by Blender. Now, this skeleton can be used for many different things, from games until, you know, cinematics and stuff like that. So you can make everything with that. And it's very easy to work with. I had a great time, you know, making all these animations, but as you know, I'm not a fully, you know, I'm not a full-time animator. So obviously, I won't ever achieve the highest quality of animations, no matter how hard I try. And I'm kind of sick and tired of trying to be the best in everything at the same time, because it's just impossible. So what I want to do instead is focus on the areas that I think I am best at, and everything else I want to kind of, you know, outsource, if you want to call it that. So for example, what I want to do in the future is make new 3D meshes based on the meshes from Dimension Drifter, but in a somewhat simplified version, and then use the Unreal skeleton instead. The Unreal skeleton is a very high quality skeleton for games, obviously, and on top of that there are packs with animations with like thousands of motion captured animations online already. And I can use these animations and combine them with some stylized animations that I've also seen already, which are like kind of like, I don't know, like I don't want to say anime, but right now this is the best way to describe them. They are pretty like exaggerated, similar to like Devil May Cry or something like that, you know, huge combos and huge like jumps and twirls and whatever, and I kind of want to mix that together with a somewhat, to create like a style where you feel like the characters are very well animated and like bouncy and, you know, lively, but at the same time kind of realistic. I don't want to go into that manga direction or anime or whatever, because I don't know, I wasn't that generation and I don't feel like imitating that style. It's just not my thing. So I want to mix a new style of animations together, and I'm pretty sure that will be of a much higher quality than whatever I've made right now myself. On top of that, I can finally use all these animation features like clothing, and the ragdolls will be much better, because the ragdolls right now are really like, it's just it's so complicated to work on anything, you know. It's frustrating and it's not fun. So I want to replace that and make it much easier for me. And what I'm thinking is that at the same time I can even increase the quality overall, because I'm not doing everything on my own, but I can take lots of things that are already done. I'm a single person and I have to think like a single person. I can't go around thinking like, I'm gonna make AAA games. So anyway, that's my update basically. I want to make more games, and I want to go into different styles again, as I've done in the past. So one of my goals is to make another first-person game. I want to make another third-person game. I want to make a Dimension Drifter update. But all of that is only possible if I can get a new niche in Steam where I have more success than now. Right now, I'm fucked. And I have to find another way to make money on Steam. Otherwise, none of anything of what I say matters, because I would be a fucking hobo living on a train station or something like that. And you can't make games from there because the Wi-Fi is pretty bad, I've heard. Anyway, the point is, that's my update. That's what I've planned for the future. If you have any suggestions or comments or whatever, please keep in mind, again, I'm a single person. I cannot do 1 million things at the same time and be perfect with everything. So there have to be a few things that I will just not do anymore. And I've decided that the stuff I'm least interested in, for example, animations, I will not do that myself anymore. Anyway, so yeah, if you have suggestions or whatever, leave a comment, and otherwise I say thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.